celebrate local business people and hear what they have to say about the business landscape in Zimbabwe as they share their experiences, their successes, and sometimes even their failures, as long as they inspire young people out there who'd want to do business in Zimbabwe. My name is Lionda Mhonda, and this is New Money. Today we are joined by Dr. Mautsa, and what he is up to is actually a mouthful. Dr. Mautsa is credited for founding the first call center in Zimbabwe, the Contact Center Association of Zimbabwe, and is also the co-founder of the Chartered Institute of Customer Management, and he also has Pico Construction under his belt. Welcome, Doctor.
That needs to be developed as well. So because of that now, and with some savings that are happening, and the standards of living also increasing with small margins, is also then edifying and contributing to that. But it's not only construction. If you have to look into the future, like what I said earlier, I want to say the future is very bright. The value chain, the other players in the value chain, they are benefiting from this, and this will then add to the economic development. Yeah.
So that growth is much needed growth, and we are foreseeing it continuing. And we're seeing as well banks and individuals coming in to contribute to this sector. How does that diversification impact the construction industry?
Yeah, we have seen a lot of players, especially from also the private sector. We're not predominantly, we're not in the construction sector like banks, insurance companies, but it has more to do with hedging, with obviously the currency instability right now. So the banks, for them, the easier option is to invest in assets like housing, and to safeguard the value of the pensioners' money, their money, the value of money. So that's why we are seeing a lot of development that are happening, like in the past. But I think the land, as you know it, obviously you don't multiply land. So, but there are people, individuals who had some huge chunks of land. So people are subdividing their land into cluster homes, And but the new thing that is coming also in the construction sector, it is the office parks. People, companies and businesses are moving from the city center, and these big buildings that we see in the city center, they were owned by insurance companies, pension funds, and a number of other small players. But we are seeing now SMEs to say, okay, that realizes I need my own offices. We are seeing other players, other companies that didn't have offices as well. So office parks, we are going to see a lot of office parks. So that will then add to economic development, because as we are doing that, we're building the office parks, the housing, the high-rise buildings, the other players in the value chain will benefit, the hardware shops. People who are going to work in that sector, they will be having also income from it. Different suppliers, service providers, people who provide special skills. So I think this is going to also contribute to the growth of the economy.
You touched there on a bit of instability. There's the issue of amenities as well, which is a major concern for house owners in residential areas. Who's actually responsible for ensuring that there is sewer systems and water pipes and roadworks? Is that the responsibility of the contractor?
Yes, so it depends. We have a responsibility. It depends with the model that will be used. For such developments. So we have other private developments. For example, I will go and buy land, maybe from a private player who will be having maybe 10 hectares, and I'll subdivide to say I want to put sewer, electricity, and other social amenities. So it will be my responsibility. I will just develop, the approvals, and come up with the drawings. For example, the sewer line drawings and all those kind of other requirements. Then we'll get approvals from City of Harare. Then the deployment now, we will have to do it on our own because it's private land. But we also have other land for City of Harare where they are developing on their own. That's when they will go and put the social amenities on their own. And we can have state land also, where maybe the government is rolling out some infrastructure projects like what you have seen in the past few months, where under the Office of the President and the Ministry of Housing, they are running a number of other projects then they have to come and deploy on their own. But the challenge we have seen where we have cooperative society, where people will then come and say, okay, contribute money to me. They are given land from City of Harare. Then people will contribute money. Then I will spend that money for my own or divert the funds. So at the end of the day, then I will fail to provide the sewer lines, to put electrical connections and stuff. So that's when people will say, I know the money was eaten or it was stolen and there's no development in that area, but we have paid. So that's the challenge we've seen in the past years. But I'm sure there are some measures that we have put in place to address such discrepancies that were in the market.
Okay, it's imperative for house owners to know who's actually responsible.
Yeah.
And then let's move on to National Development Strategy 1. So the vision there is 220,000 units by 2025. Is this feasible and is this attainable?
Well, so there is nothing that we can say, okay, under the sun, there's nothing that is impossible. But there's need for that political will from the government side. There's need for commitment from private players. Remember, the purpose and the role of the government in any economy is to provide a conducive playing ground for the different sectors, in different sectors, so that those who are players in those sectors, they'll be able to deploy their mandate and fulfill their mandate without hindrances. So the Reserve Bank will come into play, the government policies and different stakeholders. So the government, once they've created that ecosystem, us as players in the sector, it will be easy for us to then contribute to achieve the target. But when then we don't have policies that are then anchoring support, it's not only from government side. The banks right now, if you want to apply for a mortgage, it's easy in South Africa. It's easy in Zambia right now. But if you are, I'm just talking about our neighbors. It's easy also as well, but I'm just talking about our neighbors, neighboring countries. So right now it's very difficult to secure a loan. Amway contract, I think we have done so well in a small way, but even at our level to apply for a loan at a bank, let's say 1 million, there's a lot of mistrust that is there. The bank don't trust the companies, and the companies, we don't trust the banks. That's the challenge. And because we don't trust the banks, we don't bank with the bank sometimes. We are scared to put my US dollars at the bank. But the challenge is now when I need US dollars for development alone, 5 million to say, I want to build 1,000 houses or 10,000 houses. It's so possible I can do it in a single year. But I won't be given that money because I don't have the track record. Exactly, because I don't trust the bank. And at the same time, the bank will never trust me as well. So that's where we are as a nation. So there's no money that is circulating. The banks are not parceling out money. So because of that, it will be so difficult for us to achieve what you are talking about. It's next to impossible for us to achieve within the next 2 years.
Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.